Okay, so I was supposed to do this back in week 9, and I have not had time to do this. So we're doing this. What are we at the end of week 11? What hang on, I gotta double check what week it is. What it's 11? Yeah, we're at the end of week 11. I am recording this, and I'm probably gonna put it up to before or as the Cowboys and Texans game is starting. I don't really have much to say for those two teams because they're kind of on. I mean, they're on two different trajectories right now. So it's just um, like I don't have like opinions aren't going to change if whoever wins, whoever loses. I mean, I guess since the start of the year, I thought Texans were really good, and they've obviously fallen off a little bit, but the Cowboys have just like really fallen off. So, what I'm going to do is, I think last time I did something similar to this: great teams, good teams, mid-tier teams, and the worst. As we get towards the end of the year, what I'm going to do is start doing like playoff potential, Super Bowl potential, stuff like that. But we're with the middle of the season here, and like yes, like some records are really good, but some records are again like Houston. I don't know if I have them as a Super Bowl favorite right now. Like I just I'm gonna pick on them because they're an easy team to be like, okay, well their record's good, but they're not playing the best. Or I guess the record isn't amazing, spectacular, but it's a good record. So we're gonna start out. I'm just gonna go in order here. Just gonna do this real quick. So Saints, like they're not the worst ever, and they just fired their head coach. Was that 2 weeks ago? No, I'm trying to remember. 1 week, 2 weeks ago now, whatever it is. And I believe they're 2-0. If I remember correctly, they're 2-0 since they fired their head coach. Yeah, 2-1, 2-0, something like that. They're winning games. They're somehow winning games. Morale just jumped up. They're okay. Like I don't know. Like the NFC South is so mediocre that like I thought Atlanta was going to run away with this division, and I thought well, I guess I shouldn't say run away because I thought the Bucs would do decent, but I thought Atlanta was going to take this division at the start of the year, and they've kind of crumbled a bit. And the Bucs again are going up and down and up and down. Obviously, they have a bunch of injuries. I think Godwin's out for the year. Evans should be back soon-ish. I don't remember. I have not like specifically looked at a timetable. I'm just gonna while I'm talking about them, I'm gonna put them up here. But they're like, I'll put Atlanta here too. Even though they've kind of again fallen off a little bit. But like the NFC South is so just like a weird. I don't know. Like it's anyone's game, and well, I mean, really not the we're the Panthers. I mean, they're not the worst, but like well, we'll put them there. We'll put it. It's like I'm gonna have them there. I'm gonna have them there. I'm trying to think. Giants. There it is. I think that's the only three I want down there in the worst. But NFC South, I don't know. Like this is not what I thought it was going to be, and even looking back, like 5, 6, 7 weeks ago, it's like okay, this doesn't feel like the same division. But that's where it comes into play at beginning of the year, middle of the year, end of the year. It's the like teams get better as the year goes on. They get more adjusted. They get more, just everything. Like they're more in tune with their team, and more. It becomes more of a motor that just runs. They literally just become like a better team. So I just NFC South is really weird. Browns, I don't really want to talk too much on them. They're just bad. Giants are. I think they're benching Daniel Jones. If I saw something correctly, I think that was today. I saw that yesterday, today. Yeah, they're just bad. Dolphins here. I'm not going to talk about Tua. I'm not going to get into it about Tua. I've talked about it in the past. Like I don't, especially with how many he's had, and just like I don't know if this is the best for him to just keep coming back and keep getting injured. Now I understand like the doctor said, like I'm not a doctor, like I get that, but there's got to be a point in your life where you think, okay, I've had enough concussions. What if the next one's actually like bad? Like what if it's really bad? Or what if it cuts down on my lifespan? there's got to be a point there. And without Tua, they're not good. But with Tua, they're okay. So I'm gonna put him in mid tier. Tua's obviously playing right now. But yeah, I don't know. I don't like. I'm not a fan of the Dolphins. Yes, they got wide receivers that really speedy wide receiver core, but like their defense isn't amazing. And again, without Tua, their offense is just trash. Like it's just really is. Okay, I want to. I'll put them at top of good. So Ravens started off really hot, and they've kind of simmered down a little bit. I'm gonna put the Steelers in the same division in the same level as them. And we'll kind of talk about the AFC North. We'll do them real quick, and I already have the Browns in here. So Ravens started out really hot, and then kind of like simmered down a bit. They just lost the lead for the division to the Steelers just this past week. It was 18-16. Steelers beat the Ravens. I have questions about this Ravens team. Are they a good team? Yes. Are they do they have the potential to be a great team? Yes. It's just the way they've simmered down the past couple weeks. I'm nervous to be like, oh, Ravens to the Super Bowl. They're beating the Chiefs. They're coming through everyone in the AFC and just like bulldozing. But I can't. I'm nervous to say that because I'm like the super hype train with them. Like, I like the Ravens. I like Lamar Jackson. Love Derrick Henry. I've loved Derrick Henry since he's been drafted, really. Watched some of him in college, too. But, like, I love Derrick Henry. So, like, they have a lot of good players on their team. A lot of potential to be, like, amazing. But, you just lost the division lead to the Steelers. And I thought the Steelers, talking about them here real quick, I wasn't expecting them to be this good. What are they? Are they 6-3 or not 6-3? What is the Steelers' record here? I can pull it up real quick. Here, we can look right here. Week 12. It doesn't show. Why does it not show it? Does this show it? Oh, they're 8-2. Yeah, yeah, they're 8-2. I don't know. We'll put them up here. I'll put them at the very top. I'm gonna leave great for like Lions. We'll put the Chiefs up there because they just lost for the first time after 9 weeks. I am gonna put Commanders up there. I don't need to really explain the Lions. I don't really need to explain the Chiefs, but I'll talk about the Commanders. They are on a roll now. I know they just lost to the Eagles on Thursday Night Football. Was that Thursday? I believe it was Thursday. So I know they just lost, and I think they lost a division lead, if I remember correctly. I don't have that pulled up. I don't have that memorized. But they're still doing pretty good. I know there's a stat where Jaden Daniels is like 1 win against above 500 teams or whatever, but it's an NFC, like NFC as a whole, that is pretty stacked. You might have 3 teams from the NFC North in the playoffs. There's potential 2 from the NFC East. NFC South, you might have 2 if one sneaks in as the 7th seed. Obviously you have to have a winner. So there's going to be 1 from each division. And then NFC West is a bloodbath, and I really don't know. I'm just going to put them all in good because I'm not – Cardinals lead the division right now, but I'm not convinced. Even Niners could they're talent-wise, they're really good. But the NFC West is just – they're all 5-5, or I think the Cardinals are 6-4, but I believe these other 3 teams here, I believe, are 5-5. And it's just they're 5-4 and something they have to have buys. Yeah, 5-5 makes sense. Yeah. But they're all just they could all potentially be really good, and it's just they're just fighting, a dogfight for a division, which is basically what the NFC North is too. Or they could all just be mediocre and they're all just getting wins over each other, and it's just a really close division, and the Cardinals just have a 1-game lead on them. I don't know. I really don't know. They're good teams. It's going to be a tough race for that division, but I don't know how to feel about them. I really don't. Denver, let's finish off. We'll put the Raiders. Actually, I almost could put the Raiders down here, couldn't I? I'm gonna do that. Chargers. We'll go top of mid tier. I'm not really so. We'll talk about that in a second. And Chiefs, Chargers. Oh yeah. Okay. So AFC West here, real quick. We'll stick with the West side. Broncos. I did not see this coming at all. I am flabbergasted by them. They are, I think 5-5. I'm gonna pull them up. Let me. I'm gonna pull them up here. They're 6-5. Excuse me. They're 6-5. They started out 0-2. I want to say something like that. Like they started out pretty bad, and then over the past month ish, Bo Nix has just decided that, oh yeah, I'm playing football. I can be good at football. And they hung in there with the Chiefs, who were undefeated at the time. And obviously they beat them by a blocked field goal. Really, if they didn't block that field goal, Broncos end the undefeated streak of the Chiefs a week earlier than whatchamacallit. I'm blanking. Then the Bills. I don't know why I was blanking on that. But they're really good. Chargers, on the other hand, like I'm just like, I don't know. You beat the Bengals, but the Bengals are having like I see so many people talk about how they're like one of the best bad teams in NFL history. Like you have Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow putting up elite numbers and their team around them is just sucking. So like they're the definition of mid. Like I could literally just put them at the top here. But you have the Chargers that just beat them, but they just blew like a 21-point lead and just barely squeaked out a win against them. They're winning. I think they're like 5-5 or 6-5 or whatever. But I'm just not sold on them. And the Raiders, I don't know how much I really like to talk about Raiders. They're just, they're not that good. They're really not. So let's go ahead. Let's get rest of the I'm gonna do that. We're gonna do that. NFC North up there. We'll talk Vikings first. I'm shocked by them. Both literally these two teams right here. I'm shocked by the Broncos. I'm shocked by the Vikings. Now, if JJ McCarthy did not get hurt in preseason, I don't know if the Vikings would be this good. Obviously, with a rookie QB coming in, but you put Sam Darnold out there, he's having a resurgence here. A resurgence. Sam Darnold. This guy gets mocked for seeing ghosts. This guy just has been a journeyman bouncing around teams and whatnot too. And all of a sudden he's on the Vikings and all of a sudden they're winning. And no one had that. No one. I don't even think Vikings fans were like, oh yeah, we're going to be 7-3 or whatever they are. Let me pull up their record because they're freaking good this year. Where is the Vikings game? Right here. What are they? I'm sorry, 8-2, not 7-3. They're 8-2. Excuse me, my bad. I'm disrespecting them. I'm shocked. I am utterly shocked by them. I don't know. The NFC North is stacked this year. I'll just talk about my Packers real quick. They're doing pretty. I mean, they're falling off right now. Like they're starting to fall off a little bit. The defense is not showing up as well. We got lucky with a blocked field goal being the reason we escape and beat Chicago. We're just getting lucky at this. I don't know how to feel. Like they're not amazing. They're not spectacular. Everyone keeps bringing up the fact that this time last year, or about a week or two ago, we were 3-6 at one point, and then made the playoffs and beat Cowboys, made the divisional, and then almost beat the Niners in the divisional. And it's like, okay, we're way better than that now. We're 7-4, 7-3, whatever it is. But like, there's just something weird about this team right now in the midseason. So I'm hoping we can just start winning, games against good teams. We need to beat the Lions in their home. We need to beat the Vikings in their home. We took care of the Bears on the road. They still have to come to us. So like them, I just like, we need to. We just really need to start winning these games. And they're not. They're not like against great teams. Like again, you lost to the Lions, and then again you barely squeaked by the Bears, who are a Hail Mary and a blocked field goal away from being 6-4, if I remember correctly, like back-to-back weeks or whatever, or bye in between or something like that. Yeah, I mean the Bears they're okay. They're okay. They're nothing spectacular. They're nothing crazy, but they're okay. They're doing their thing. Eagles, we'll put them here. Bills are a great team. Patriots are, we'll put them here. Texans are a good team. Cowboys, I might just. I can't put them in they're not that bad. Jets are down here. Titans are down there. Jags are probably down there, and then Colts are here. So we'll just kind of go over. Bills, they're 9-1. 8-2. Hang on, what's the record? They're 9-2. They're 9-2. They're really good. Like I at the start of the season, I was like, okay, I'm not too sure. I think at the time of the video, I think they were like 2-2 or something. And I'm like, okay, they're not that spectacular. They're not crazy, but it's still the Bills to still make the playoffs. And yeah, they've gone on a long win streak, and they just beat the Chiefs, who are undefeated. So they're good. They're pretty good. But we'll see how they do in the playoffs. They're running away with their division right now. Like we'll just skip the Jets here real quick. We'll go back up to these two teams. Jets just are not good. The Cowboys. Colts are a weird team. Patriots are a weird team, but the Bills are just running away with the division because the Jets are falling apart. The Patriots had a little spark there of looking decent, and then all of a sudden they, fell off again, and they're looking bad again. I think what are they? Are they 4-6? I think. What are they? Oh, 3-8. Okay. So I mean, it's just like Patriots aren't that good. Jets are just, I think they're like 3-8 as well. So, but yeah, I'm not sold on really a lot of those teams. I don't, Jags are my second favorite team, but they're just, the answer is not. They need answers. They need, something else here because they are not doing well. I don't need to talk about Titans. Titans just suck. They're just really bad. So that just leaves the Eagles and the Texans here. We'll go over real quick. Eagles, I believe, are leading the division now after beating the Commanders. I think. Don't hold me to that 100%. But they're a team where they could put up a fight in the playoffs. I'm not super they're really good, like the year with the Super Bowl run. But they're not really bad. But they've shown against the Cowboys, the week before they played the Commanders, they were just trying to lose that game. That the Commanders put up a real good fight against the Eagles. So it could be divisional games, which I've said you just throw logic out the window. I've said that for years. If it's a division rivalry game, you do not go look at the stats because anything is freaking possible with division rivalry games. So it could just be that they're just struggling against division rivals, but they're winning, or it could be that they're not clicking and they're not the great, that great as what they were, 2-3 years ago when they made the Super Bowl. So I don't know how to feel about them. Obviously, we'll see down the stretch with the Eagles. Again, I believe they're leading the division, so it's I pretty much in their hands. If they're not, then they're only probably a half game behind the Commanders. I don't remember, but just I have to defend this, right? I have to really defend this before we talk about the Texans. The Commanders, yes, they lost to the Eagles, but they put up a fight, and they're putting up fights in every game. And that's why I think they're a really good team. That's what I think a lot of people don't see about them is they're in these games. Yes, it takes a Hail Mary to win it, with, Bears, not doing their job and tipping the ball up backwards instead of trying to bat it down to the ground. I get that. But I see them as being a threat to the Eagles and being like, hey, we could take that division title right back. You still have to play them one more time this year. You got Cowboys. I don't think they play the Cowboys at all this year. So I believe still have 2 potential W's there. Where's my other game? My other team? Oh, yeah. Oh my God. Why am I looking up here? You have 1 game against, or they played the Giants twice. I don't remember. I think they've only played them once. Did they lose? I don't remember. I really don't remember. That game was crazy close. I don't know why those Commanders Giants games are close, but that game was crazy close. I remember that, but I don't remember who won. But I just think that they are going to be a threat to the Eagles this year. I really think so. I think they better watch out. I think even if they barely lose the division, it will be barely, and they will make the playoffs as like a 6th or a 7th seed. Again, there's just so many NFC teams as a whole. You have in the North, again, Vikings, Packers, potentially Bears. Those, I'm talking wild card spots. Like, obviously, I think Lions are going to probably win the division. But, for NFC North, again, you have those other 3 teams that could potentially sneak in. NFC East, again, is probably just the Commanders and the Eagles. I don't really see the Cowboys turning around, and obviously the Giants won't. You have the NFC South, which potentially, Bucks and Falcons potentially too. Maybe the Saints start winning and their morale boost is just really good and they just like go on a 7-game win streak or something and maybe they sneak in. That's a big if, and obviously you don't have to worry about the Panthers. But you have whoever loses that division potentially has a chance to make the wild card, and then you have the NFC West, which again is a bloodbath. If they all keep winning, I know I have them all in good teams, but if they all keep winning, you're going to have to contend with them too. So, it's the NFC. I'm going to make a video on this. I really have to make a video on this. I have to sit down and do a video and just hammer this out. But in 1 year, the NFC went from the worst conference to the best. The AFC fell off. Now you have the Chiefs, you have the Bills, but Ravens again are a little iffy this year. And again, I'm not super sold on the Steelers, but the Steelers are, they're winning games and they're, winning the division. That could surprise me. You have potentially 3-4 top tier teams, and then you have Texans, I guess, start of the next level. Like again, look at top here. Great teams, good teams. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 AFC teams. And you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 good, great NFC teams. That's how tight the NFC is. That's how crazy it's gone. In 1 year, it's jumped up and just all these teams, they're just clicking and whatnot. It's crazy how much the NFC has turned around in a year and how fast the AFC has just fallen off. Now, again, this right here, this list is my opinion, but I think a lot of people would agree that the NFC is better. You have a lot of more contenders towards the top of the card for the NFC than you do with the AFC. You're always going to have the Chiefs there. And this year, again, the Bills are doing real good. So I think circling back to the Commanders, I think if they barely lose, again, they will barely lose if they lose the division, and they might only lose by a half game or a game to the Eagles. I think they still have a potentially good chance to win the to sneak into the wild card as a 5th, 6th, or 7th seed. I just think they could. But again, it's just a bloodbath for who wants it the most. And we'll go probably maybe week 15. I'll start going, and what I did last couple of years is playoff predictors, see who's in, see who's on the cusp, see who could win and get in. And by week 18, we'll have everything figured out, and we'll know who is in the playoffs and who is not, which, by the way, we're coming up. We're about a month and a half away from playoffs. From figuring stuff out. I think playoffs are what? They're like a month and a half, almost 2 months away, because it's what, January? Is it the middle of January, I want to say? So yeah, we're like exactly. I'm recording this on November 18th, so we're like exactly like 2 months away, around there. Little less than that, maybe by a week or whatever. But so this is my tier list. Again, you can put down in the comments who you think is good. You can disagree with who you think. Again, I know a lot of people are going to talk about the Eagles, Commanders. I just personally think that the Commanders have shown that they're more consistent than the Eagles, even though, again, both teams are winning. So again, I'm totally okay if you disagree with where I place the Eagles and where I place the Commanders. Maybe you're shocked by maybe the Bears you move up. maybe some people would defend the Colts a bit. I don't know. It's, again, I'm okay. If you want to disagree, you want to go say like this is where you're wrong in your list, I'm okay with that. Let me know why. Don't just be like you're wrong and don't say why, because I'm not going to give that any attention. But for now, that's my list, and I'm out of here. Peace.